get that too, because I'm looking at the prices of houses and I'm going, oh my gosh. And she goes, well, you lived in a much better world than we did. No, but they're all different. How you grow up, how my parents grew up was tough. How I grew up was tough. How you're growing up is tough. All in different, if I can say that, in different measures.
Sure.
So
yeah, there are some things that are different and better, and things that are different and worse.
I mean, social media is like crazy because, way back when you had a problem, nobody knew about it. Now when you're on social media and you go, I'm dying,
That's certainly
because I want to do
sword, this. Blessing and a curse, social media. Social media is us doing this right now. It's also people being mean to each other on Twitter. It's all kind of a big ball of wax. Yeah. Good enough. Yeah. I mean, I still have my pessimistic streak, so to speak, but I take it with a grain of salt. Not a grain of salt, but I take it with humor of like Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And it's most often hilarious. That said, if you plan for a disaster and it doesn't happen, you got your bases covered. So that's kind of where I live on that edge of.
But think about this one though, too.
Yeah.
I have gotten pretty well everything that I wanted. And here's my funny story is, but watch how you ask for it.
Be careful what you wish for. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, you wanted the man of your dreams. You got to, that might not have been great. I wanted the business I ever wanted in my life, but that might not have been great. Now, in the whole scope of things, though, I'm really glad that I experienced all of that.
Yeah.
But you have to be specific. I want it this way and I want it to turn out that way. You have to make sure that at the end of your hope and your wish that you tell that whatever, how you want it to end.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Or you might end up with something that you didn't expect.
That's true. And it's a tough one too, because if you dial it in too much, I want something extremely specific. You're probably going to frustrate yourself because that may be an impossibility. That specifically crafted picture perfect outcome, you got to leave enough wiggle room to be happy with what you get that's on that same path. And the flip side of it is you got to have a destination or you're going nowhere. So you have to aim, almost like throwing darts or, just aim for the board. You hit the board, you're good. You miss the board, aim better next time.
And even if you hit, like, I've got these like dartboards back here somewhere, but even if you hit close to the center, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you protect yourself. But it's a good life. I mean, if you really look at when, like, I'm turning 60 in a month and I don't feel 60 at all.
I don't feel when I look at 45. That's weird to me. Yeah.
It's like you're a baby. Oh my goodness. I didn't even feel old. I did not feel old at 45 and I don't feel old at 60.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is I look back and I go, holy wow, the things I did, the things I experienced. And I'm there now where I'm looking back and my past is not all the, oh God, I did that. No, it's like, whoa, really? I drove without seatbelt and I raced my friends and we party stupid sometimes, which we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I'm going, you can't do that today. Thank God I was born when I was.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably some stupid things I've done in the past that I will never mention due to, a person legally distinct from myself getting into trouble for things that I will never admit to. But in a different age and time, nobody got hurt. They weren't that bad, but they weren't exactly on the up and up or within the boundaries of the rules, so to speak. You want to be real careful with that stuff.
But we had fun. We had fun. We lived.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to remember. The times that you lived, the times you took risks, the times that, it might have not ended the way that you thought it would. I lost my business, but I'm thinking, wow, for 3 years, I ran an auto repair shop. I had goats, I had chickens, I had fresh eggs.
I'm kind of leaning towards hoping I can do that someday with the goats and the chickens and the fresh eggs. It's not possible where I'm at the moment, but.
See, don't wish it. expect it that it will happen, but just make sure that the ending means that that's going to happen and it will continue.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
it's a joke. It's a joke, but it's true. I should have said, when I wanted all of this, I want this and I want it to last. But everything happened for the best because now I'm with my parents and we talked about it. And I'm here to help my mom and my dad. And they helped me. And I've never been in a happier place in my entire life.
Very nice.
It.
That's good. Yeah, no, I've been through some stuff in the past where it was like, if I didn't suffer that discomfort, whatever it was, I would not be where I'm at right now. And I'd actually like where I'm at right now. So maybe that needed to happen, or at least I took it and made something out of it. Yeah.
Oh, good point. You know what? That's a really good point. Because some people take it and make it into a trauma, and other people take it and make it into what you just said.
I think that's a very key point, is like, how do you overcome trauma? How do you leave it in the past? How do you take something unpleasant and live with it? And I think the only way is to transform it into something else. You gotta what they say is integrate that into who you are, because it happened, because that is you, that happened to you, whatever it is. And it doesn't mean you won't suffer. And it doesn't mean it won't be terrible. And it doesn't mean that you won't think back on it and, just every time it comes to your mind, you're like, God, that was awful. But if you do something with it, all those regrets and that perseverating on negativity and hating yourself and hating the world goes away. I mean, it doesn't go away entirely, but it is, that energy has to go somewhere, and it can go into a negative place, or you can feed it off into something else that's going to make your life a lot better. And I recommend that 9 times out of 10 and twice on Sundays.
Totally. Because like I said, I lost my business, but now I still remember when I used to wake up and have the fresh eggs and have the goats and have the donkey. And I'm remembering, I even remember when, and people say, stop talking about your divorce. No, it's fine. I'm fine with it. It took me years to get over it. But the fun part is now I can look at, wow, I've got 3 beautiful children. He was a good father. Our relationship was the only part of the bad part of it. And I'm looking back, but when it first happens, yes, all the negative comes and goes. I want to hate him. I want to hate him. Yeah. And then when you lose your business, you feel like a failure. Then you turn around and you go, oh, these pictures of me with the mother and with my kids and with my ex and how much fun we had. And then you look at the goats and the chickens and, running that business and how many women did that. And then you start taking all the positive out of the goop, and you put the positive here and keep the goop down there, and you throw it out, take it to the curb.
And I think it has to be an intentional psychological process. That it almost, they say time heals all wounds, sort of. Physically, you might have a scar. Your bones may knit back together, but it's going to be lumpy, and it may never, and it might ache when the barometric pressure changes. That's not what it means. And it's also not something that like psychologically happens natural. It's not like if you just wait around, negative feelings dissipate. Yeah. I think you really got to do something about it. You
have to make the change.
Yeah. You have
to choose that.
Yeah. If you don't move away from that place inside, you stay there, and you gotta choose. I'm just gonna live here because fuck it, or I don't like this and I don't want to feel this way anymore. So,
and I don't want to tell my bad stories anymore. I want to tell my good ones.
I hear you. I might use some of this from behind the scenes. I do a separate clip on Fridays.